Hey guys, it's Ducon Red One, and welcome back to our next Ardacraft showcase. Forlond and I, the leader of the Ardacraft team, made a live stream here recently, and what I'm going to be doing for this new video style is compiling clips of those live streams together into a video. Now, this first video, I was experimenting with what I needed to do in order to make it work because I'm recording and streaming at the same time, and I might have forgotten to click a few things. But so in that regard, the video is a little bit more blurry than what we're used to. It's more stream quality instead of being more of a recording quality. So what I'm going to do for the next one, it will be fixed. But I hope you guys enjoy this content one way or the other. We are looking through Forlond, and Forlond does an absolutely incredible job in describing what we are seeing. So just be aware that this is possibly the new video style for Ardacraft showcases on my channel, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it one way or the other. Like I said, just try to look past the video quality for just this one, and hopefully we'll have some much nicer quality videos coming up in the future. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. We're going to be doing a showcase of Ardacraft here today. Going to be checking out some really awesome stuff here around Forlond. I keep saying Forlond. I don't know why I say Forlond. It's Forlond.
Forlond, that's correct.
Okay, so it's a ruined city. So on our way up here, is there any like lore behind Forlond that doesn't particularly relate to the architecture, but more of the history of the area that we're in today?
Yeah, so I mean, Forlond is one of these places where Tolkien, I think I mentioned this in previous videos and stuff, but it's one of these places where Tolkien's kind of just put a dot on the map and left it there, really. We know the history of Lindon. We know that this was an elven kingdom that kind of slowly declined over thousands of years after their king died in the army of the Last Alliance. And, you know, they're all slowly disappearing, going off into the west and sailing away, never to come back. And we know that Forlond, and Forlond in general, was the home of the Noldor elves. The Noldor elves were like the high elves of Middle-earth. They were the kind of the most warlike, the best smiths, the most sort of the guys who kind of conquered and played a big part in Middle-earth's history. Galadriel was Noldor, Elrond was a Noldor, and Gil-galad, who was the king of Lindon, was also a Noldor elf. And his city was Forlond. However, Forlond has, as you can tell, degraded a great deal. A lot of the elves who once lived here died in that battle that you see at the beginning of Fellowship of the Ring. And a lot of the rest have sort of slowly left and gone into the west. So the city is still partially inhabited, but it's about 10% of what it once was in terms of the population.
Wow. So in terms of architectural style, do you guys take any particular inspiration from anything, or did you develop this more from a troubleshooting method, just kind of coming up with a style that looks best for this? Like, is there anything in the real world that you have found that inspired you to build this construction here?
Well, it's kind of, to me, Forlond kind of feels like a mix between classical architecture and then a more sort of traditional, you could say, elven architecture. You know, the feeling that you get for a classic elven house. So it uses a lot of white marble, these red roofs, which is quite sort of classical Roman in its look. But the shape, the form is elven, and I think that works quite well. It makes it feel old and kind of, I don't know, but still it's got that elven touch to it, I guess.
So just to get a kind of a baseline, about how many years has Forlond been in decline?
Well, the king died at the end of the Second Age, and it has now been just over 3,000 years since then.
Wow,
so,
3,000 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So in decline, that means like that's just when they started leaving and such, correct? Like
that's
ever
correct.
Since
Yeah.
the last alliance and the whole war, and then the king died. Okay, I got you there. So is there any particular buildings of note? I've also noticed that there are several buildings that are completely, you know, they're fully structured. There's no ruin to them or anything. So give us a little spiel about that. What's going on? Like, there's still elves living here.
Yeah, so the center of the city, if we're getting towards it now, actually, there are still elves living here, yeah, and it kind of, the way that I explained it to the project leader is, the way to think about it is, it's kind of a village within a city, if that makes any sense. So the village within Forlond, which is what we've just walked into now, is still inhabited. It's still in use, but it's surrounded by ruins, basically. It could well be, yeah. I mean, there was the war that pretty much all of the elves here would have fought in, at least the male elves probably. Yeah, so there's that. And there is actually a victory arch just that way, which was definitely, I remember, being designed for that.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going that direction then.
It's nice. And then this here, this is one of my favorite parts of Forlond. So each of the statues here, as you walk around, it's all kind of ruined. If you go this way, yeah, this kind of end. The statues are all the representative of the different Valar, the gods of Middle Earth. So you have all the different ones represented.
Oh, you even have an elf with an axe.
Yeah, well, he's not an elf. He's one of the gods.
Oh god, okay, gotcha. Wow, this is really cool. I like the diversity of designs for the statues. It really stands out to me.
Yeah, they were. I couldn't tell you which ones are which, to be honest, but they were designed with their sort of characteristics in mind. You're asking about significant buildings. This one over here is really cool. This is the bathhouse, which is still in use. It's really nice interior.
What shenanigans go on in here? Oh, nice. I love it. This design is very, very nice. You can hardly see the water blocks through the mist, though. At least for my shader, I guess, is what the problem is.
Yeah, without shaders, it's pretty much fine. But yeah. And of course, with our obsession with realism, we have, of course, built an entire heating system underneath as well. So.
Oh, gotta see that.
It's yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to figure out where.
How do we get
there?
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, to the left we go, and down into the dungeons. Okay, so we got a water pump.
It's through here, I think. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Oh, this is nice. This is how you get a nice steamy bath up there above.
Exactly, yeah.
Each system would be separate from the other then, correct? Like this one would be for
a
smaller bath?
This is a sauna here, actually.
A sauna. Gotcha, okay. Huh, very cool.
Yeah, so that kind of classical inspiration, you know, having a bathhouse and everything sort of being pillars and white and stuff. So it does kind of feel Romanesque in this sort of weird fantasy way, I guess.
Yeah. I love the ceiling. That's so bright. Very nice.
Yeah, the blue is nice.
Alrighty, what's next?
That's absolutely what we were going for. Yeah. Because the Noldor were always like that. I mean, they had a city in the first age called Gondolin. In fact, the most recent book they've just announced is going to be released called The Fall of Gondolin, which is a standalone book about the fall of the city in the first age. And that was built by the elves, the same elves who built this place. So yeah, they were known to be very, very good architects. And they made very impressive cities.
Such an overgrown dock. Wow.
Yeah, well, not very well used at all. I mean, this ship being here is, I think, quite odd. This one probably would normally be docked in Mython, so they might be making it a stop here for some reason.
Gotcha. I'm just taking a quick look inside the bows real fast here.
Let's head up to the palace, because that's the main feature of Forlond. It kind of, in all the screenshots and everything, it kind of dominates the horizon, as you can tell. It's huge structures.
That's pretty much all three cities. I mean, the palaces of all three cities, again, are very unique from each other. This more resembles Mithlon, the Mithlon's palace, because of the taller spires and everything. Of course, this one looks a little more.
Yeah, well, it was the same king in Mithlond as it was here, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, that definitely.
This was his main palace. Mython was kind of his, summer retreat or something. I don't know. Gotcha. But he had palaces in both places. I think there was once one, before it was kind of ruined. So this is the main path up now that they still use. And the reason they use it, I'll show you in a bit. There is a reason they still come up here.
How come this palace is ruined and, say, not Mithlon's palace is ruined?
Well, basically, the reason that Mithlon's palace isn't ruined, but it's basically empty, is we decided that the elves in Mithlon were still kind of numerous enough that they could maintain it. Whereas the ones here, you only have 10% of the population left, and so they wouldn't really have the ability to kind of keep it up.
I gotcha.
So they would let it fall into ruin. If you come over here, this is the reason that they keep it. They keep coming up here, though. So we decided that this place, this sort of room here, this would have once been the feast hall. You can see it's lost its roof a long while ago, but they would still come up here and have like ceremonies and have feasts and stuff. When it was certain times of the year. It's collapsed. Yeah, that's the old kitchen down there.
Oh, really? I guess there's really not much anything left in there, is there?
Let's make our way down here a little bit towards the gardens. talking about statues, there's a really nice one here, and this is of the sea god Ulmo, which I really like.
I can hardly see with the shader I'm looking at. It's so bright.
Yeah. So white, yeah.
See the back of it, but yeah, this is really, really cool. I love it. You see like the silhouette of it. So is this what is this again? What is this representative?
This the sea god Ulmo, he was called.
Elmo?
Ulmo, UL.
Okay.
Yeah, not Elmo. Yeah, no.
I was gonna say.
Ulmo.
Okay. But yeah, that's really cool. Love that.
He was liked by the elves quite a lot because he actually some of the Valar were a bit less helpful in the wars, but he was quite hands-on.
Yeah.
And obviously they
wow.
worship him.
Wow,
Yeah.
with this shader, this view right here. Whatever. Anyway,
It's still a nice view.
I can just imagine just seeing the sea just sprawling out into the horizon.
And this place here actually, I don't know if you remember in the Hobbit films, they have like the White Council meeting.
Trying to find you.
Well, I'm right behind you.
You're right behind
I'm
me.
here. Oh, I may need to go to plots and come back. Hang on, because we have the problem at the moment with.
So this hall that we're in. Right
Yeah,
now.
the thing you're in, yeah.
Okay.
Because there was a scene in the Hobbit film where in Rivendell, the White Council meet in Rivendell, and they have a discussion or whatever, and that wasn't law. Like that building was not supposed to be there, but we really liked the design of it, so we just took that design and then built it in Forlond, and it actually worked out kind of well. This is a lighthouse, in fact. Yeah, so this is the only bit of the palace that's still kept up because obviously, a lighthouse is a functional building kind of thing. We still need it.
I'm just gonna climb up here to the top and see what I can see. Probably not much else than what I've already seen, but still, it's just nice to be at the tallest peak of a city, looking out over the ocean. Very nice. Love it. Love it to bits. Is there a way to get out of here? From up here? No.
I don't think you could fit through the crack.
Okay,
now.
back down. Let's just
There we
fall.
go. We were quite flattered when there was the Elven contest on Darwin, and the two styles were basically Mythond and Harlond.
Right.
That was quite flattering.
Well, they're definitely great styles and great cities to take inspiration from. Oh, what is this?
This is the old throne room, so this is where the king would have.
Would it have been like the Mythlond throne room, and the throne would have been up higher, or would this have been one big room?
I think one big room actually. I think was what we intended. Yeah, so obviously it's all filled in now, and nature's retaking it all. We'll make our way through the forest. So a lot of the city now has been overtaken by woodlands. Oh, there's just a player here, which ignore him, go around him. Yeah, the whole city's been retaken by woodlands. So, but let's head towards the old university, kind of center of learning. Anyway, we called it a university as a shorthand. Obviously, that's maybe a bit of a bad name for it, but it certainly would have been at one time a center of learning for the elves. And now it's all collapsed. We were thinking for a while actually that we would keep it kind of unruined, and that was the plan for quite a while. And then towards the end, we realized that it would look better.
I remember one of the first times I'd come through here, there was a university and there was classrooms in it. Is this the building I was thinking?
Yeah, this is what it was. Yeah.
Okay. Oh well.
Hasn't done so well. Yeah, I mean we don't always do that for ruins. Typically, the average ruin on this server is going to be so ruined that there's no point building the original building. But if it's like mostly intact, like this one is, then that's what we'll tend to do, and it works quite well. So yeah, no, it's just a good little area. I'm quite a fan of it. And you can see the end of the old walls here as well, where they used to jut out into the ocean.
Is there any example of what the old walls would have looked like? I remember you guys had built the whole walls around the city, and then now you've pretty much destroyed them. And that's crazy.
We've leveled them. No, there isn't really any example left of them. I mean, that was the thing. Like, there was a builder who built all of them. They were really nice looking and everything, and we were thinking of keeping them. But then we kind of realized that actually that wouldn't really make any sense. So we leveled them.
Did that builder quit?
No, that was Guan. I'm sure you know him.
Guan. Oh,
yeah, it was Guan.
I'm sorry, Guan. Oh, man.
Yeah, so rest in peace, those walls. You were saying about the transition. So when we planned out the city, we actually used different wool colors to represent the different levels of ruining. So from, I can't remember what the colors were, but it meant that when we built it all out, it was a really nice transition, and it kind of flows quite smoothly.
Yeah.
But as always, if we go just northeast of where you are now, so if we go this way, towards the farms, as we always have farms on here, we are always obsessed with keeping that level of realism. So below us here, you can see that there are birchwoods, and these birchwoods are coppiced, and it's just something we've started doing more recently. So what they'll do with coppicing is they will cut the tree, and then it will sort of grow out into different shoots. And you see this a lot of the time in some older forests where trees have been just left to grow like that for ages and ages and ages. And what it means is that the tree doesn't die, but it continues to kind of produce firewood and stuff over time. And so you get this effect of these trees with multiple stems coming out from the ground.
This is so cool. Wow.
Yeah. So that's how they get firewood in medieval settlements.
See, I'm learning things here. Coppicing, I did not know that, but that's a really logical method to get some more firewood for sure.
Yeah, because it means that you don't have to clear felled forest. You don't have to destroy the forest. You just have to maintain it, and it's something we've been doing a lot more in settlements recently.
Yeah.
So moving towards that, which is cool. And then this is presumably the lumber yard. This is where they process all the wood if they're turning it into.
Where's the big saw? I guess there's no big saw in here.
No, I don't think so.
A little more industrial than what we're used to.
Over the top.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So no, if we just fly over the farms, we've got the 3-field system going as always. Got meadows, got barley, wheat, vegetable plots closer to the city. This is a threshing floor here that you've just flown over. This circular thing here. And so what they will do with that is a lot of the time they will walk farm animals around in circles, right? And this is over the recently harvested wheat. And you know that expression, separate the wheat from the chaff?
Yes.
And that's how they did that. So they're separating the grain from the kind of the husks. And what they'll do is they'll stick forks into it, like those big pitchforks, and they'll throw it up in the air after they've stamped on it. And what that will do is the little grains will fall to the ground, and the actual stalks and stuff and all the chaff will be blown away by the wind. So typically you'll have these on sort of an elevated location where wind can, go over it.
So you definitely would want a windy day to do it.
100%.
And would there be any kind of contraption on the back end of these animals?
Not really. No, it was literally just the hooves. Believe it or not. And you could actually do it by, well, not by hand, by foot, by human foot.
I would hate to have some cow pie grain, if you know what I mean. But
so that's something that a lot of settlements I've noticed missed out on Minecraft a lot of the time, is that they will just have the mill, but actually you need that step. You need that step first to be threshed before you put it in the mill. Yeah. So
that's a really good point. And again, something I've learned today: coppicing, threshing floor, granary, of course, is something we all know.
Yeah, I got a granary here. Yeah. So it's all part of the process. And what's good about it is, people think, oh, all this realism stuff's really boring, but actually, what it does is it makes your settlements a lot more in depth, and it allows you to add interesting structures that most people won't build. Even though the city only has 10% of its population, the farm size is also still pretty big, because you do need quite a pretty big. And again, another point on farms is that a lot of the time I'll see people build like a big city or a big town or whatever in Minecraft, and then they'll put like a couple of wheat fields next to it, and that'll be it. It's like, well, actually, your farms need to be at least 3 or 4 times the size of your actual settlement to make them work. So that's what we try to go for on here. And then we have you're going past an orchard on your left, and then there's some I think these are grapes, actually. So they're making wine as well. All sorts of stuff, all sorts of interesting stuff. And then vegetable fields. So typically vegetables will be grown closer to the settlement itself, if not in back gardens, just because they can remain fresher, whereas grain and stuff can be made or can be grown farther away, because that keeps for longer. And then animals tend to be the furthest away from the settlement, because they can be you'd have animal droving, so they can actually bring the animals into the town itself to be slaughtered.
This bridge is really quite interesting to me. It's not directly diagonal.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It slopes down as well. I think it's not quite as impressive as the one in Harlond. The Harlond
No,
Bridge
but
is
this
still
is
like
impressive. I mean, I'm still
yeah.
that's pretty cool. So this definitely achieves its goal of being something unique again. It's just really
Sure.
well done.
And
think
if you
guys
follow
really
that
have,
road, that would take you all the way to Mithlond, about 3,000 blocks away from here. So.
And if you guys want to see
Yeah.
Mithlond, reference the video down below in the description. All right. Really good stuff over there as well. Same thing with Harland and whatever else. There's so much stuff on this server. Oh, crazy. By the way, Forlond, goodness. If you would be so kind as to tell the viewers how can they join this incredible community here.
Absolutely. So all you need to do is download Conquest Reforged or download our own launcher. Either one works fine. And then what you can do from there is go to our website, ardacraft.me. That has all the links there. Has everything that explained there. We have a frequently asked questions section. We have a forums. And you can join the server at mc.ardacraft.me. It should be, and it is actually, on the Conquest Reforged default servers list. If you click just right on that multiplayer menu, you'll find us there. And you can look around and ask questions and everything, and then you can eventually join our build team through applying if you want to. Always need new builders. Always, always, always. So, yeah.
And for those of you that want to see specific locations across Middle-earth, or Ardacraft, should I say, they have a Dine map with a feature that allows you to open up all the different warps that are available so far. Just go ahead and just find one of those warps, go in game, warp to that location, have a look around. It's just an incredible experience to be able to actually explore through the realms of Middle-earth and see all these things brought to life through Minecraft. It's one thing to see it on a show, it's one thing to read it in a book, but to actually be able to walk through the immersive creations created by these incredible people on this team, it definitely makes a difference. So I would suggest any of you that are interested in having some fun, getting away from the stresses of life for a little while, come on over. Ardacraft is definitely worth your time. So, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next time. Till then, bye-bye.